Hello, my friends. I recently went on a trip to Boston, and on that trip, I got to visit a cute little stationery store. And so I'll talk to you a little bit about my trip and what I did, I guess. So, first of all, the stationery store that we're talking about today is Paper Mouse, and they have this absolutely beautiful bag. I can't showcase all of it because my camera setup is currently a little bit of a mess, but look at this absolutely beautiful bag, and it has this beautiful illustration. I'll try to insert some better photos. Oh no, everything in the bag is currently falling out. But this is their storefront, and it's absolutely lovely, cute. And look at the tiny little human. It's an animal's world out here, but my partner actually found this place for me because I was looking for new things to do in the area, and they were like, ooh, I found this stationery store, so let's talk about that. And so I've actually been here a couple of times. I'm sorry if I made it sound like this is my first time visiting, but they hold a lot of different stationery. But of course my partner had to get me a couple of gifts, and so they got me a number of smiski. So I asked them to get me the living smiski. They gave me the option, and so I got 3 living smiski, and I have been fighting to find this guy, and he's not even a special one, but I've never gotten him before, and I've only gotten 3 of the smiski types. I've gotten the flute one 3 times, which is why I don't pick out living smiski myself anymore. I've gotten this leaning head one and the sleeping one. I haven't gotten the lifting or the holding one, and I haven't gotten that one as well. So my partner picked out 3 because I have really bad luck with picking out my own blind boxes. So if you guys want to know what I got, I don't know how this is possible, but I got 2 of the leaning guys. And then I also got the sleeping one. I'm also a big fan of these ones because I feel like they have a lot of versatility, as well as the sleeping guy, because when are you not sleepy? So I love keeping these guys anywhere, and so I'm not mad with these at all. If I did get another flute guy though, I may have actually been very upset. So I'm glad that even if I got dupes, it wasn't the flute one. Nothing against the flute one, but I just got 3 of them in a row on different days at different locations, so I was just very upset because he's just a guy playing flute, and you know, I can't be too mad about him. But why is he playing flute? I am mad about this, let's be honest. And then this isn't part of the Paper Mouse haul, but we went to the Friendly Toast, and it's a brunch place, and they had these maple syrup bottles, and they're actually glass. They don't have a glass top. The top is plastic, but it's like a glass, and I really wanted the label, so I took these from an empty table, and I asked the server like, oh, can I take these? And they were like, yes. And they even, I think they saw me sort of seeing if I could take the label off, and so they gave me both of them, which was very sweet. And then they also gave me this postcard, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet of them. So if you guys ever want a good brunch spot, check out the Friendly Toast, and always a really yummy time. They're currently doing a test kitchen series, so every week they have been trying out new recipes and stuff. So yeah, I love the Friendly Toast. They're also a relatively new chain, but they've been doing pretty well. So the Paper Mouse stuff. Now that I'm taking it out of it, I think I got less stuff than I thought I did, but also at the same time we got a lot of stuff. The other thing my partner got me was this smiski pouch. I am so happy about it. I absolutely love smiski, so let's open it and put some stuff in it together. cushion pouch. It is so soft. I'm gonna take this off, but we are going to save it. I wish the carabiner was the fun smiski green, because I got a carabiner with my the birthday anniversary keychain smiski, but it broke immediately when I got it out of the packaging. The pin that goes in the back of the carabiner to make sure that it's springy and closes fell out immediately, and I haven't been able to put it back in. So instead of losing the pin, I just decided to be sad about it. But this I will treasure. And look at the little smiski key, what do you call this, zipper chain. I'm so excited. And it's also not attached with a jump ring, which I really appreciate, because when things are attached with jump rings, they tend to fall off, and that makes me really sad. So I'll take that off later. Let's open it. Oh my gosh, filled with foam, of course. I'm gonna reuse that, don't worry. And it's actually very plush inside, and it has that nice yellow color, so I think I already know what I'm gonna put in here. I'm gonna put my keychain case, not my keychain, my Samsung earbuds case, because it's been getting pretty scratched up, but I love it because it's a tuna, and it comes with a keychain as well. And so getting a little scratched up. I don't know if you can see it, but the sort of, what do you call it, the glossy finish, the varnish is coming off as well, and then you're starting to see some little scratches in the vinyl decor here, so I'm hoping that I can put it in here and not lose it. I'm wondering if it's a little too big, but that's okay. We're gonna keep that in there. And then to start off with our paper mouth haul, I got this really cute lip balm. My lips have been really chapped recently, definitely because I've been around some cats and I'm allergic to cats, and the weather changing has not been good for my allergies in general. But I got this lip balm, and so there's just this mouse, and I think it's a capybara or some sort of bear sitting in this tea, and it's a gentle citrus lip balm. And I just thought the packaging was also so cute, and I think the lip balm is actually really nice as well. I will say, if you have cracked lips, I don't recommend it, because it is pretty, what's it called, natural, so it does have essential oils which do hurt when you put them on. So I think I'm gonna put this in here. I also have like 500 different lip balms that I think I'm gonna put in, just because I could never find my lip balms in my bag. So maybe this will work out. I have this lip gloss that I've had for a really long time, and then I also have this steaming milk lip potion. I like this one because it's minty, so it keeps me aware of when it is on my lips, so I don't pick up my lips anymore. And then I'm wondering if I should put a hand lotion in here, or maybe some more lip balm. I have this Hello Kitty lip balm, which this one is actually really nice, but I feel like it's really thin and doesn't last too long, but I have very little of it left, so I should definitely use it. And I don't want to use it up, because then I feel like it becomes not useful, but maybe I should stop filling this pouch, because I'm worried that it won't close if I fill it anymore. But this will definitely become a staple in my bag, and it's just so beautiful. Alright, on to the actual stationery. As you can already see in this corner, let's start with this washi roll of stickers. This is from Thousand Skies. It's their journal and craft labels. Apparently there's 100 of them, which I'm very excited for, and I think this is always a really good way to elevate journal spreads that you think are kind of empty looking or just need some extra color. And I thought these were really cute because they're sort of animal but stationery themed. You can see this one has that stationery theme where it's like a notebook, a pen, and an extra note space for you. But then there's also this bunny that has the balloons, which I thought was really cute. I will say I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do with this one, because it doesn't really seem like there's a space for notes, but I think it might be really nice to use as sorry I'm also slightly sick from traveling, and so my voice is a little dry. and my nose is running, but I think this might be really good for sealing envelopes, making sure that they're just closed. And this bear one is also really cute, which is what really sold me because it has the extra little framing. And I just really like this. I have another type of washi that's similar to this, but I do use it quite a bit. My only qualm is that the paper on that is pretty thin, so if I misplace it in my journal, I can't take it off, but that's alright. I still love using it. And then I got a Deco Rush. I've been looking for Deco Rush and been really wanting one for a while, and they had the Tamagotchi one. And although I wouldn't say I'm a die-hard fan of Tamagotchi, I do have one. Not one of the newer ones, but I thought this would be a really great way to also decorate journal spreads really easily without making my journal too thick, especially because I currently have a Stalogy 365, which I can show you. This is going to be my journal for 2026, and if you want to hear more about why I chose Stalogy over Hobonichi, I do have a video on that. And this is supposed to have 368 pages to fill up the full year, which I'm still debating about whether I like that format because that's a lot of pages, and I am someone who likes to insert stickers as well as just use it as a to-do list and scrapbook maybe. So I'll have to see how I feel about this. One thing I also just realized is, excuse me, my friend reached out to me and asked if it was a flat lay, and I'm realizing it's now not. It opens up wide enough that there's no glue actually between the pages, but it's technically not a flat lay in the sense that it's just not a flat lay, quite honestly. And so we'll see if that gets on my nerves a little bit. I don't anticipate it will because I do plan on using it, excuse me, not for many horizontal layouts, so we'll see. But overall, you know, it doesn't lay too poorly even if you get to the very beginning or the end of the book. My main worry is that when I get to the end of the book, these pages will be so much more full, and so a flat lay might not work as well. But moving on to things that I actually got, let's continue talking about those. So I got this thin washi tape, and following along the theme of decorating borders, I really like that this was a vertical layout washi tape and it's super thin, because something that I did in my Hobonichi is that if you're familiar with the Hobonichi layout, they have a separate section on the left. Sorry for all the noise, I'm bringing out my Hobonichi to see if I can show you. There's a layout on the left that shows sort of a time signature. So as you can see, there's this time section here, and then there's this very lightly, slightly darker line in the center. I usually like putting a thin vertical line here of washi tape or some sort of highlighter to just separate off this section, which I plan on using for my main to-do list for the day or some big events. The way it works in Stalogy is that Stalogy does also have the time on the side, which you can sort of see. It's much lighter and much smaller than it is in the Hobonichi, but it goes from 8 to, I believe that's 9, yeah, to 9 p.m. at the very bottom, and so it's a little different, but I figured I can maybe delineate the sides on days that I have a lot of events and less tasks to do, and so I'm currently working out a system, and hopefully I'll have a video on that again in the future, just talking a little bit more about what I would like to do with that. And actually, I had a bunch of test pages, but now I seem to have lost them. Also, if you would like to know more about my journal system, I would love to do a video on that once the new year starts. So I can answer some questions about it. It's not completely finished. It's still in the works, as I'm unsure how my Stalogy will pan out, but I'm hoping that it'll work well and that we get to use it a lot. And the last two purchases I made is, first of all, this really beautiful notebook that is a Paper Mouse exclusive. And it has this really pretty gold embossing. There's nothing on the back, just the regular but I thought this was absolutely beautiful, and I've been looking for a larger notebook to do some study notes because I thought this grid and the slight lining would be very nice for me to be able to do some commonplace note taking. And I kind of like that it has this follow line that you can use if you'd like from the very top, and it has a date, contents, and number, and I thought that was perfect and very simple for what I wanted it to use it for. And so one of my goals for 2026 is actually to get back into self-studying some more academic readings, one of them being psychology or neuroscience journals, because that was what I studied when I was in university, and I really do miss that information and material, and that's something that I would like to keep myself informed on, and which of course I think is a broad goal to have, but as much as I can. And so one of the other things that I would love to go back to studying is physics and math, and I say this quite often, but I don't have any regrets in my life. I just believe that the major regret that I have in my life is genuinely that I did not go back, but that in university I did not study physics, which was probably which was something I was really passionate about in high school. I went on to study pre-med and psychology, and quite honestly, I think that is maybe the only regret that I currently have in my life, the fact that I studied that instead. And of course there are things that I took away and I learned and got to do because I studied psychology. I got to work at a neuropharm lab, which was absolutely eye-opening, and I really enjoyed that time there. But at the same time, I have a lot of regrets on not getting to study physics and astrophysics and talk more about space and get to know space on a more intimate level. And so there's that. And then I hope that this... Oh my gosh, I have one more item. I was really wrapping this up. I got this... Excuse me. I got this Yumi Kitagishi bookmark. I'm not actually too sure how it works. It shows it like this, but it looks a little flimsy, so I'm a little worried, but I'm probably going to use this on the inside of my leather folio that you saw earlier, because the Stalogy does not have a it doesn't have the... I'm suddenly blanking on what you call them, the little tails that they have in here that will mark the page that you're on. And so I wanted that for this, and of course this is multi-purpose. You can use this for any book, even if it's just a book that you're reading, and I'm excited to use this. Let's actually take this out now and see how it works. Okay, so yeah, like I thought, this isn't actually like a metal piece in the back. It seems to be some sort of... Maybe it is plastic. It's kind of hard to tell. It seems like it's plastic with some sort of textured coating, or I can't tell if it was adhered onto here or if it is just the textured plastic. One thing I don't like is that they have spread it quite a bit with the cardboard in here. I can't tell. The cardboard in here isn't that thick, so I'm not too sure why it's spread so wide. One thing I do like is that they give you all of this extra ribbon, so you can feel free to use it for really large books or really small books. I'm going to take it out just a little bit because I know my Stalogy, although quite small, is not that small. And so I think I'm going to have to undo it maybe one more time, although that will make it quite long. Maybe I should have checked beforehand. Worst comes to worst, I can use it for a different notebook or for a book I'm reading. I wonder, is there any way to use it this way? I don't think so. I think maybe if I use it... No, that's the same exact measurement. Alright, so it will have to be this long. Let's clip it in the back and see. I'm not too sure. Oh, something I didn't actually think about is the fact that it will be sticking out in the top. And it does actually display that, so I definitely should have known. And you know, that's not the end of the world, because that means that I can actually mark the notebook in two places. So let's say I have a monthly layout in the front that I want to keep track of. I can probably keep that in here. Oops. Stick that in here. Of course the pages will definitely get a little bit marked, but that means I can also, this is a little finicky, I will be honest. I don't think I quite like this as much as I thought I would. So let's say I'm back in, maybe this is June. I can then put my little charm here, and that should work as a dual bookmark. It is pretty bulky though, so it's definitely going to leave marks in your pages if you leave it on one page for too long. As you can see, there's a pretty wide gap. But, you know, it's just for the aesthetic, right? And maybe I can even actually slide this onto a folder in my leather portfolio and just slide the ribbon through my Stalogy, because my Stalogy I do not anticipate taking out of my leather portfolio unless it ends up not working out for me. But otherwise, I think this is really beautiful, and it's such a lovely little green that I think suits my notebook. And now that I'm thinking about it, this is actually smiski colors, because the ribbon is actually pretty close to the smiski, and now the yellow is kind of the same color as the yellow inside. I'm just a smiski girl. Alright, well, I think that is going to be it for me today. And yeah, if you have any questions about the things I said or things, I would absolutely love it if people could support the Paper Mouse. They have an online catalog as well, and they have such lovely stationery and greeting cards. I really wish I picked some up to show you guys, but even though it's the holiday season, I actually make a lot of my own greeting cards, so that's not something that I was able to pick up this time around. But I hope this was a fun video for everyone, and I will see you in the next one. I can't believe I talked for this long. I really thought this was gonna be a maybe 10-minute video, but I'm a yapper, what can I say?